Tennis superstar Novak Djokovic is officially out of the US Open.
Novak Djokovic has come out and he has announced that he will not be playing the US Open.
Sasha Zverev has withdrawn from this year's US Open.
Serena Williams, she is announcing her retirement from tennis after the US Open, obviously her home tournament.
I think that her legacy is really wide to the point where you can't even describe it in words. I think I'm a product of what she's done. I wouldn't be here without Serena Venus. I'm very thankful to her.
A lot of other players in the field, have the belief I can do that too. I think what we achieved shows that, anything can happen really.
It's time!
First thing I did when I got home from work is I changed to the Rafa hat, the Rafa top.
Emma Raducanu.
And she's just beaten Serena Williams and Azarenka. This is the biggest talking point. Nick Kyrgios on the same section as Daniel Medvedev. Who do you think is going to win the US Open this year? He answered Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, it's still the young guns. Rafa has got a nice draw. Serena Williams, she's drawn. Danka, Kovinic.
Terrible.
I'm a massive Layla fan.
Garcia is incredible. I put a bet on Garcia to win the US Open.
Pegula, Layla Fernandez. I'm going to go Layla Annie Fernandez is going to win. Rafael Nadal is going to win the US Open this year.
Rafael Nadal comes back from the depths yet again.
We've both gone for the same guy. I've got Linda, you've got Linda.
Nadal has to be considered a favorite.
Rafa for 23. Let's go, Ben. Come on.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Day 3 roundup. That is what we're doing here today. Unfortunately, we won't be joined by the guest that we were going to have, but we probably will catch him on one of the other day roundups. Do not worry. We're here to talk about the big news, the big way to start. Serena Williams. Well, she's surprising everybody right now. She came back on court last night to a rapturous applause from the cauldron inside Arthur Ashe Stadium and played the number 2 seed, Anett Kontaveit. And it was an incredible match. It wasn't the sluggish Serena that we've seen in recent times. It was a new, revolutionized Serena Williams, and I'm not sure what happened. She was running well, she was hitting well, and one of the main things, she was serving well. And she looked incredible, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. She blew me away. I was surprised. I know I was saying Kontaveit's going to win this one in straight sets. How wrong was I? Serena Williams, I think it's quite fitting with this image, the greatest of all time, turned up. And when I say turned up, this is the best I've seen Serena in many years. She looks really good, dangerous. The serve was good. And beating the number 2 seed, granted Kontaveit's not in great form, is still a massive achievement for her. I believe there was a stat, I don't have it on me. She's the first person to defeat someone in the top 3 at 40 years old. She's 40 years old, soon to be 41. No one's ever beaten someone of that higher seed at that age. And I think that's a remarkable achievement. And she can add it to her many, many accolades. And listen, the whole occasion was good. I loved seeing her husband, Alexis, and her child as well, celebrating all of the points she won. They were so vocal. And I felt like they accounted for about 100 people just themselves. Her box were going crazy. Venus seemed to be a little bit more muted than others, to be fair.
Reserved,
I guess she's, I don't know. I think she's always been a little bit like that when it comes to Serena. Of course, she's one of the first to always sing her praises and celebrate her successes. But being a tennis player yourself, probably you don't get as animated on the touchline.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously it is the US Open crowd. I feel that Serena was trying her best to sort of calm them down herself. I was sort of alluding to during the match that she was like the conductor and they were like the orchestra. Every time they were sort of shouting during Kontaveit's service, she was sort of going, now down, now down, now up, now I've won that point, now down again. I thought it was quite a nice touch that she can command a stadium full of people just with the raising of a hand. I thought it was incredible. And I don't like people cheering for missed first serves, though. I'm never going to get on board with that.
Yeah, no, and there was a bit of that, especially booing the line calling. I don't know if you saw a really close call
like that,
where it was in the ball, but Anett
incredible.
Kontaveit just clipped the line, and the
thin.
crowd were booing, and Serena literally went to the crowd like, "Come on, stop! You can't boo a good shot." It was just and listen, good point we're making, because Gary says something quite relevant, saying remarkable by Serena. I wasn't thrilled that she didn't even mention her opponent on the on-court interview. Anett was valiant.
Yeah,
I think we can excuse Serena for not mentioning Kontaveit, because there was a lot of other talking points to discuss. This could have been her last ever singles match. And let's go on to what she was asked. Nice little segue.
Yeah.
Because you can see her here celebrating. And she was asked about, I don't know if you've got the exact question there, but I did have it a second ago. But it goes along the lines. Have you got it?
Yeah, I think I read it earlier. I haven't got it with me, but I know that they were asking her, was she surprised at how she was playing out on court?
Yeah, that's right.
And she said, no, I'm just that good. It reminded me of a Federer.
I'm just Serena. That's the saying. We've got it here on the screen. But yeah, it's just basically her way of saying, do you not know who I am?
Exactly right. It did remind me of Roger Federer in that interview when they said, how do you keep doing it year after year? And he just said, well, I'm a very talented player. And it's true. They're the top echelon of the sport. You can't expect them to not blow their own trumpet once in a while.
It's not just that. Are you surprised you won, Serena? Well, Serena's made a whole career off winning, so she shouldn't be that surprised. She's won more than anyone else.
Exactly.
So, but no, I thought I can understand the question. I can understand. I don't think it's a disrespectful question, because are you surprised the level you was able to produce? I think she should have been a little bit surprised, because she's not been playing like that recently. She certainly didn't play like that against Raducanu at Cincinnati. That's for sure. But
no,
I thought it was quite a nice answer from her, and it definitely added to the atmosphere. You can see her smiling. She's into the third round. Next up, Aya Tomljanovic, who struggled through her match. How do you see that one going?
Well, I had in my bracket before for Serena to go out to Tomljanovic. I assumed Tomljanovic would come in and be playing some really great stuff. I didn't expect her to be struggling past Rodina. And Rodina sort of came out and surprised a few people in this tournament. I think Serena has the ability to beat Tomljanovic based upon her match against Iga when she came out and played not so long ago. And Iga completely blitzed her off the court. And I feel that maybe playing somebody with such a big stature down the other end, that might not play into her hands too well, Tomljanovic. I feel Serena, the effect of the crowd, they play a part. They definitely played a part against Kontaveit. You could see she was nearly in tears. I think it was at 5-2 on her seat when she was broken. And I felt a bit sad for Kontaveit, because if she was a horrible person, I could understand like all the people getting on her back and stuff like that. But she's really nice. Like, we know that she's one of the nicest people on tour. So I'm not down for all of that, but I feel that it will affect the match. And Tomljanovic, no exception.
I think Serena wins that one as well. Tomljanovic is not on paper as good as a Kontaveit, despite the form. And the way Serena served, I think that's a big thing to emphasize. Her serve was very good and dominant. And I liked her defensive play as well, actually, at times. She was getting the ball deep. There was a few moon balls that sort of looped up and hit the baseline. And she always comes in, and her drive volleys are excellent. She's pretty reliable when it comes to a drive volley. I think the way she's playing, she can beat Tomljanovic. But let's move on from Serena, because this is kind of like a roundup. We usually do a news video. We thought we'd come live. We may be joined by a few guests over the next few weeks from at the US Open. So stay tuned for these ones. And of course, make sure to keep supporting us by liking the video and subscribing. Next up, we've got a familiar face, Jose Morgado. Speaking about the Brit, Jack Draper. He was outside the top 250 in January. He's just beaten Felix in straight sets. He's going to make his top 50 debut after the US Open. He's a serious player. We've got Cam Norrie on the fringes of the top 10. I'm not sure if he is in the top 10 at the moment, but certainly close. And Jack Draper seems to be going at a similar trajectory, but he's young. He's got a different style of play. It's a pretty, I I don't know. He's not someone who's going to have to rally because he's a bigger hitter than Cam Norrie. Norrie will keep the rally going. Jack Draper has the ability to end something quick. He's got power. He's younger and he can improve a lot as well. There's a higher ceiling than the Cam Norrie. How far can this kid go? And are you surprised he beat Felix?
I'm not surprised. I mean, we saw what he's made of. Obviously, he got to the quarterfinals in Montreal. He beat Tsitsipas in straight sets in that tournament. And Tsitsipas obviously beat Medvedev around the same time. This is he's a coming out party, I feel, for Jack Draper. I know that I sort of alluded to it and hoped he could maybe make a fourth round maybe in this tournament. I think it's possible. I really do. And to beat Felix is, what was he, number 8 seed or number 7th seed in the tournament? And a really good hardcourt player. I feel that his stature, he's very tall. I think he's about 6'5". It helps. He's got a great serve. And like you said, good movement and very powerful ground shots. And he's going from strength to strength. He hasn't dropped a set yet in this tournament. He's straight sets against Rusevori, straight sets against Felix. I can't wait for his next match, to be honest. And it's going to be against Khachanov, which for me, another winnable match.
Yeah, certainly winnable. We've got Michael in saying JG was spot on with the Potapova, Muguruza beating Townsend and Kalinina over Pera. Very specific matches there, Michael, but I'm glad you're singing my praise. I don't get it often, but I think I'm doing all right on the women's bracket. Aside from, of course, the big news, Leylah Fernandez going out. I look like a complete idiot in the intro now, singing the song. I backed her to win the whole thing. But I don't know. She put up a very valiant effort against arguably one of the most informed tennis players right now. Samsonova's on a big winning streak. She is going to be super dangerous now she's beaten Leylah. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her maybe go all the way to the final.
Yes, I mean, if not semis, definitely. I think she can be in and around the back end of this tournament. She's the Washington champion, the Cleveland champion, and now she's, 2 matches in. She's not dropped a set yet at the US Open. She's had 2 young players, Belyek from the Czech Republic, and now Fernandez, last year's finalist. So I think she's storming it. When was the last time she even lost a set? I think we have to go all the way back to Kai Kanepi in the final of Washington. So she hasn't lost a set in quite some time, about 7 matches now.
Yeah.
Very dangerous player. And like you were alluding to last night, her service games fly past. It's almost like watching Kyrgios play. Yeah. It's like 1 minute service game.
No, she's looking good. We've got Dan on the Facebook saying, heard Jack Draper is a Douglas Luiz fan. And, Douglas Luiz is on his way to Arsenal. I have just done a video about that on GTL Extra. So go check that out if you haven't already. We've not released it yet, but go and check out our other channel. Ben will pop a link in the live chat for you to subscribe. And while he does that, I'm going to go on to the next one because this is Rafael Nadal. I know it's a little bit late, but it's something we want to discuss briefly. Hopefully less time than it takes him to serve. Ba-boom. But anyway, this is what was being said. We've got Rafael Nadal on John McEnroe claiming he's not following the 25-second serve clock rule. Classy response. We're not going to watch it now, but I have watched it in full. Rafa saying he does follow it. He doesn't get preferential treatment. Other people coming out saying or showing evidence of him getting 30 seconds, 31 seconds at times. People saying they start the clock later for Rafa. Him saying that he sweats a lot. The guy asking the question, going back to him, saying, just because you sweat a lot, does it mean you should get different rules? Him saying, I don't get different rules. It's all kicking off with this. It's been with Rafael Nadal over the years. He's never broken a racket. He isn't someone to shout something out to the crowds or create any other problems on the court. But one thing he will do is get time violations. And over the years, he's got loads of them. So is there preferential treatment? It's hard to say when he does get punished a lot. But what do you think?
It's always going to be the big talking point when it comes to Rafael Nadal. He's so squeaky clean in all the other sides of the game. I think it is something that's always just going to hang over him, unfortunately. His style of play means that he sort of has to play to his own rhythm. He likes to get everything back on his terms, and he slows everything down, and he likes to just take his time with his serve. Is he taking too long? possibly just slightly each time. And I think he does just need to just speed up a tad. Just it's not even a
So
lot. It's
is he
probably
getting
like
preferential treatment from umpires?
I think sometimes. That's my personal opinion. I think sometimes there is like the late starting of the clock. I think that one has been noted. Or like we've seen, he's gone over 2 seconds maybe here and there, and they don't pull him up on it. And that, if you're down the other end and you're making the concerted effort to stick to the shot clock, and your opponent, it doesn't matter for him, it becomes a bit of it's a horrible subject to have to keep on bringing up. But I don't know. I don't think he should be an exception to the rule. I think the shot clock's there for
I
a
don't think he
reason.
is though, mate, because he gets penalised all the time. So if someone's
He
always
should
getting
then.
pulled up on something, then how can they say he's getting away with it? He's not getting away
Well,
with
if
it.
as long as he gets pulled up on it, it's fine. That's the key thing, is that the rule's there. As long as there's a warning, then a point deduction, that type of thing for consistent abuse
Yeah,
of
and
the
not
rule.
just that. If they are starting it late, it's not Rafa's fault. It's up to them. I blame the umpires. If there is any issues with this, it's the umpire's fault, not Rafa's.
It's like in boxing. If they start counting late, then how do you know how long the guy's been on the floor? That type of thing. But
Yeah.
that's at the referee's discretion to when they start the count. It's these type of things in sport that give us stuff to discuss and stuff to debate as well, though. But Rafa's
Kathy echoes what I just said. It's not his fault if the umpires give
No.
him preferential treatment. I don't think he is getting it personally, but there is maybe incidents in the past where it's been a bit like they've started it slightly late, they've given him a few more seconds or whatever, and that's down to the umpire. I mean, that's their
Yeah.
job. Their job is to umpire the
Exactly.
match. If they're not doing it correctly, it's not Rafa's fault, is it?
Nope.
So let's move on from this because we've got a few topics to get through. This is just a quick
Yep.
roundup. We've got Max Wadworth here talking about Iga. If she loses today at the US Open, it'll be the first time in the Open era that all top 3 seeds have been eliminated by round 2 of a slam. I thought it's an interesting one, not just talk about Iga, but because it's a bit negative on Iga's part, this
Yeah.
one. But the reason I liked it is because it emphasizes how many big seeds have gone out on the women's. We always know it. There was a list. I don't have the tweet, unfortunately. But out of the top 32 or whatever,
So
I
many.
mean, probably over half. There's so many seeds out. And the number just keeps on growing. Of course, we've had Raducanu out, Halep
Sakari.
out, Kontaveit out, Sakari out, just to name a few. And
It's madness.
yeah, that's why I like your final. Your final's a good one because it could happen. I mean, someone
Hope
a bit
so.
out there. I believe Garcia's still a seed, though, isn't she?
17th, yeah.
Yeah, but still not a high seed. And
Keys
yeah.
would be a good one as well. I think she's 20th seed. Like those type of people, they're good form players. Samsonova, another one as well. I'm not sure if she's a seed though. I think she's an unseeded player. These are all like fantastic players who you need to just watch out for. Form players coming in. I know recency bias shouldn't always go with it, but sometimes I feel that the form helps. I mean, look at what Raducanu had coming into last year. She was in form coming into the US Open last year, and it did mean she won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So maybe the US Open is one of the tournaments you do need a bit of form.
Yeah, exactly. Just quickly on Iga, we will be covering that match in about 3 hours' time. So hopefully you can join us for it. Do you think she's going to be all right today and win?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Not
Next
gonna go
up,
more
Nick
than that.
Kyrgios. More drama from him.
Oh, no.
I watched the video in full on this one as well. It's him spitting towards his box, swearing. He got a warning for it. He's probably going to get fined. And the reason he was so upset is because I'm not going to say what he was saying because I can't repeat it, but he's swearing at him saying, "You're not supporting me. You're acting as if you're a spectator. Where's your support? Effing this, effing that." Like really bad. And he spat in the direction of the box.
I never understand this.
I don't understand it at all because I was there at Wimbledon when I saw him have an outburst at his box and the box are standing up, clapping him, cheering him. I mean, I don't see him ever like not supporting him. What does he want from them?
I don't understand. Like, why is he so
Who does he
reliant?
think he is anyway that they need to do that?
Why is he so reliant on them? Why does he have to go to them after every single point? And if they're sitting down on one point, he just berates them. It's just bizarre. I've never seen somebody. And
I mean, if I was his box, I just couldn't tolerate it. I wouldn't go watch him. If
you
you're there to
alluded
support
it,
someone
though,
and you're getting abused every time in the box, why do you keep going back?
because it sort of makes sense now, though. Remember when we were sat there watching, you said, have a look over at his box. They get up and stand up after every single point. And the reason they probably do that is because if they don't, this happens.
Yeah, they're scared
That's
of him. He's like a
yeah.
petulant baby, ultimately.
Well,
I
he's gonna
like Nick as well, to be honest, and
yeah.
I think he is good for the sport. And I've loved watching some of his matches, and I like the way he's been playing this year. And he's got a real good chance of beating Medvedev. In fact, I think he is going to. But I just don't understand this whole narrative. Part of me thinks he's not actually angry at the box, and he's angry at himself about how he's playing. Because when he's playing, and then he just uses an excuse rather than. I feel like with him, it's got to be someone
venting.
So if no one said something to him in the crowd, he can't use that. If the opponent's not done anything dodgy at all, he can't use that. If the umpire's making all good calls and there's no grey areas, then he's like thinking, oh, who can I pick on? I must be my box.
Yeah.
So I think he goes through all of the possible scenarios.
Umpire first.
Yeah. And then, no, I can't do him, can't do that, can't do this. And then he's like, oh, I'm getting angry. I'm losing this match. I'm struggling here against Bonzi. It's going to be my box. That's like the final result all the time. It's childish. It's annoying. And then it leads to this answer in his press room. Nick Kyrgios saying, I'm so professional at the moment that I don't feel like myself. I never thought the Wimbledon final would make me want to be like this. Thought it would be the opposite. So he's in the press room saying how professional he is. And I understand with what he's saying is actually correct as well, because he has definitely applied his tennis and the whole training and his attitude. I'm sure maybe his diet's a little bit better. He is applying himself for the tennis side of things, but his on-court persona is certainly nothing professional about it.
No, definitely not. I think that you sort of hitting the nail on the head, though, with he is trying to find an outlet for the inner rage, let's say. And sometimes when you have that sort of inner rage, or you have like a lot of stress, you take it out on the ones closest to you. That's like a really common thing. That's not like
I agree
abnormal.
With that. Psychology, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like you feel that you can let it out to them, but not to others. Obviously, he still does it and has the outburst. Maybe that's why he is attacking his box more than, because he's not really shouted at umpires and the crowds as much, or his opponents. Maybe they've said, direct all of your stuff towards us. And that will help you get through the matches, because we're not going to complain about it. Like that will help you release that tension from your game. So it seems to be working for him. He's playing his best tennis I've seen him play, to be honest. So let's just hope he just less of the spitting, though. I mean, we don't need that on the court.
Yeah, well, it's not the first time. He did the same thing in the second round at Wimbledon as well. I think that was towards a spectator. So, yeah, he's got a history of it.
That's true.
I think pretty much I've said everything I need to say about Nick Kyrgios. He's still an exciting tennis player. Professionally, very good tennis-wise. The way he conducts himself, not so much. And there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. But let's wrap it up there. That is our quick summary of the day's action. Listen, it was a great day of action. We've got plenty more to come on day 4. Make sure you can join us for all of the matches. We're going to be doing Iga. We may even be doing a doubles match, Serena's doubles match. It doesn't happen often on Game to Love, but seeing as it is Serena's last event, we feel like we should be covering everything we possibly can. But yeah, anything left to say, Ben? Anything I missed?
Just a quick shout out. Obviously, another Brit who's sort of flying under the radar. Andy Murray. He did go through in impressive fashion in 4 sets against Emilio Nava, and he has a massive match coming up tomorrow against Matteo Berrettini. So we'll definitely be covering that one on the channel. And good luck to Andy. I think he could be in with a good chance, because Berrettini.
It's an open section, because Tsitsipas is out now of that section.
Well, I don't even against Tsitsipas, I think he took him to 5 last year.
Yeah.
So I think anything's possible for Murray right now. But good luck to him. Good luck to the other Brits. And join us for, it's Iga Swiatek. We'll be covering that one in about 3 hours' time.
Yeah, lovely. Make sure, if you haven't already, hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you're new, join the membership if you want to help support the channel further, and we'll see you for some matches very soon.